The Magic Faraway Tree by Enid Blyton. Chapter 22. What's his name has some strange news. Franny was delighted to see Joe, Beth and Rick back. Mother doesn't seem quite so well, she said. She's got such a bad headache and, well, did you get some medicine for her, Joe? Yes, I did, said Joe, showing Franny the big bottle. It's get well medicine. Look, let's give Mother some now. It smells of plums. It should be rather nice. They went into Mother's bedroom and Joe took a glass and poured out 2 teaspoonsful of the strange medicine. Well, I hope it is all right, Joe dear, said Mother, holding it in her hand. Well, I must say it smells most delicious, like plum pies cooking in the oven. It tasted simply lovely too, Mother said. She lay back on her pillows and smiled at the children. Oh, yes, I do believe I feel better already, she said. My head isn't aching so badly. Well, that medicine was simply marvellous, and by the time the evening came, Mother was sitting up and knitting. By the next morning, she was eating a huge breakfast and laughing and joking with everyone. Well, Father was very pleased. We'll soon have her up now, he said. And he was right. By the time the bottle of Get Well medicine was only half finished, Mother was up and about again, singing merrily as she washed and ironed. Oh, it was lovely to hear her. Now, we'll put the rest of the bottle of magic medicine away, she said. I don't need it any more, and, well, it would be useful if anyone else is ill. A whole week went by, and the children heard nothing of their friends in the faraway tree. They were very busy helping their parents, and they wondered sometimes what land was at the top of the tree now. If it was a very nice land, Silky and Moonface would be sure to let us know, said Joe, so I don't expect it's anything exciting. One evening, when the children were in bed, they heard a little rattling against their windows. They sat up at once. It's Silky and Moonface, whispered Joe. Oh, they've come to say there's an exciting or lovely land at the top of the tree, said Rick, excited. The boys went into the girls' room to see if they were awake, and they were looking out of the window. It isn't Silky or Moonface, whispered Beth. I think it's old what's-his-name. Goodness! Whatever has he come for? Cried Joe. Shh, said Franny. You'll wake Mother. Whoever it is doesn't seem to want to come any nearer. Let's creep down and see if it is what's-his-name. So they put on their dressing gowns and crept downstairs. They went into the garden and whispered loudly. Who's there? What is it? It's me. What's his name? Said a voice, and Mr. What's-his-name came nearer to them. He looked terribly worried. What's the matter? Asked Joe. Have you seen Silky, Moonface or Saucepan lately? Asked What's-his-name. Not since we all went to the land of magic medicines, said Joe. Why? Aren't they in the faraway tree? They've disappeared, said What's-his-name. I haven't seen them for days. They went and never even said goodbye to me. Oh, what's-his-name? But what could have happened to them? Asked Beth. They must have gone up into some land and, oh my gosh, maybe that moved away from the top of the tree and that's why you haven't seen them. No, that's not it, said What's-his-name. The same land has been there ever since the land of medicines moved away. It's the land of tempers. I'm quite sure that Moonface and the others wouldn't visit it. No, I'm sure. Because, well, it's well known that everyone there is always in a bad temper. No, they've gone, vanished, disappeared. Oh, and I do miss so miss my dear old Saucepan. He makes me happy, and him going, it makes me very, very sad. Oh, what's his name? This is very worrying, said Beth, looking upset. Whatever can we do? Well, I suppose you wouldn't come back to the faraway tree with me, would you, and help me look for them? Asked What's-his-name. I feel so lonely there, and, somebody else has taken Moonface's house and Silky's house too. Oh, they've come from the land of tempers, and I'm so frightened of them that I just simply don't dare to go near them. Oh, goodness gracious, this is very bad news, said Joe. Somebody else in Moonface's nice little house and someone in Silky's house too? This is most extraordinary. I'm surprised you didn't hear anything, what's his name, you know? Like, I'm sure Moonface would have made a lot of fuss and bother if anyone had turned him out of his house. Are you sure you didn't hear anything? Not a thing, said what's his name gloomily. You know how I snore, don't you? Well, I expect I was fast asleep as usual. Oh, I shouldn't have even heard, even if they called me for help. Well, listen, what's his name? We can't possibly come tonight, said Joe. Mother likes us to get the breakfast, and since she's been ill, well, we have to make her breakfast in bed, but we'll come just as soon as we can after breakfast. Will that do? Oh, yes, said what's his name gratefully. That's marvellous. I shan't go back to the tree tonight. It's too lonely with the others. May I sleep in that shed over there? You can sleep on the sofa downstairs, said Joe. Come in with us. I'll get you a rug. Then we can all start off together in the morning. So, that night, old what's-his-name slept on the sofa. And guess what he did? He snored a lot. And Mother woke up at once and wondered what in the wide world was making that noise. But she thought it must be a strange cat and soon went off to sleep again. Next morning, the children asked if they might go with what's-his-name, and they explained what had happened. Well, I don't know that I like the idea of you going off if something bad has happened, said Mother. I don't want anything to happen to you. Oh, I'll look after everyone, said Joe. You can trust me, Mother, really you can. We'll be back soon. So Mother said they could go. They set off to the enchanted wood with what's-his-name feeling rather excited. Whatever could have happened to Silky and the others? They climbed up the Faraway tree. It was growing peaches that day and they were really delicious. Rick, ate far more than the others, of course, and nearly got left behind. They came to Silky's house. The door was shut, and from inside there came a stamping and a roaring. Oh, that's one of the people from the land of tempers, said what's-his-name, lowering his voice to a whisper. They're always losing their tempers, you know. Whenever anything goes wrong, I just simply daren't knock at the door and ask where Silky is. Okay, well, let's go up to Moonface's, said Joe, feeling that he didn't really want to go on knocking at the door either. So up they went, and at last came to Moonface's door. That was shut too, and from inside came a sound of banging and shouting. Oh, gosh, they have got bad tempers, haven't they, said Joe. I'm quite certain I shan't go visiting the land of tempers. Let's just peep in at the window and see who's there. So they peeped in, and in Moonface's house they saw a round little fat man with large ears, a mop of dark hair, fierce eyes, and a very bad-tempered look on his face. He was looking for something on the floor. "Where's it gone?" he shouted. "You bad, wicked button! Where did you roll to? Don't you know that I want to put you on my coat again? I'll stamp you into 100 bits if I find you." Joe giggled. "If he does, that won't do it much good. It won't help him trying to sew it on his coat," he said. Just then the little man looked up, saw the front door and saw the children peering in at the window next to it. He got up in a huge rage and flew to the door and flung it open. "How dare you pry and peep? How dare you? You're prying and you're peeping," he yelled, stamping first one foot and then the other. "How dare you looking at my window?" "It isn't your window," said Joe. "This house belongs to a friend of ours called Moonface. You better get out before he comes back or he'll be very angry." "Pooh! You don't know what you're talking about," cried the bad-tempered man. "I'm Sir Stamp-a-Lot, and this is my house. My cousin, Lady Yellow-Round, has taken the house a bit lower down. We've come to live in this tree." "But don't you belong in the land of tempers?" asked Joe. "Are you allowed to leave your own land?" Mind your own business, said Sir Samperlot. Mind your own business. Well, it is my business to find out what you're doing in my friend's house, said Joe firmly. Now, you just tell me what's happened to Moonface. Yes, and Silky and the old saucepan too. Well, Moonface said I could have his house while he went to live for a while in the land of Tempers, said Sir Samperlot, doing a bit more stamping. And Silky said the same. The old saucepan went with them. Well, I just don't believe you, said What's-His-Name suddenly. Moonface told me that the land of Tempers had come, and he said nothing in the world would make him go there, so you're telling fibs. That sent Sir Samperlot into such a rage that he nearly stamped the bark off the tree branch that he stood on. How dare you talk to me like that, he cried. I'll pull your hair, I'll pinch your noses, I'll scratch your ears. Well, what a nice, kind, pleasant person you are, said Joe. What a beautiful nature you have. What a sweet, charming friend you would make. Well, this made Sir Samperlot so angry that he kicked hard at Joe, who dodged. Samperlot lost his balance and fell down through the tree, yelling loudly. Quick, said Joe. He'll be back in a minute, but we might just have time to pop into Moonface's house and see if there's any message from him. They all crowded into the little round house and hunted hard. Wherever could their friends be? It was too puzzling for words. And that's the end of that chapter. Oh my gosh! Where do you think they are? What do you think's happened to them? Do you think they've gone up to the land of Tempers? And if they have, what do you think's happened to them? Or do you think they've gone somewhere else? Where have they vanished to? Oh no. Do you think they'll ever be able to come back? And what will happen to Sir Samperlot and Lady Yellowround? What do you think Lady Yellowround's like? What do you think her character would be like? Well, we'll find out what happens in the next chapter. Bye-bye.